Hi everyone, I thought even though I'm behind I should get a wriggle on with this Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, because before you know it, it'll be Christmas and it's pretty hectic the next month. So I was thinking about the winter berries and I did some research, and in Victoria, Melbourne, of course, there aren't a lot of berries in the winter time. However, there are the Inca berries. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think their other name is Chinese gooseberries. So I did a little bit of research and I've drawn a picture, and this is a green colour that is like a very transparent type of cover, and when it dries out and when they're ready, it sort of shrivels up and becomes this pale yellowish sort of it's almost like autumn leaves. It's all crackly, and then there's this bright yellow Inca berry in the middle. So that is what I thought I'd do. That would keep me in line for Victoria anyway, where I live. So I thought I would just go back. So autumn is definitely finished now. This is dried out. I've got the words that I'd stamped and stitched, sewn down. Got the mossy woods, and I think in terms of videos, I kind of feel like I've missed the bird prompt entirely, but I have done some thread painting on the flower of this. Got the word bird stamped down and done some thread painting on the bird. I think I was enjoying that a lot, and probably later I'm going to fill in the rest of it so as it's fully done. So that's where I'm up to. Now I've got enough room on here for the ink berries. Don't need this much. Hope everyone's well and gearing up for their holiday season, no matter how you celebrate it. Now, and thank you for being here. The other things I gathered, I've got my little gathered posse here. First I looked at these sequins for the very yellow inside. A bit, perhaps according to the rest of the journal, I think they're a bit blingy, so I'm kind of a bit not thinking about that. I found this swatch and these colours were just perfect, and I'm not sure whether to just do this, or something I was really liking was these little glass beads. And this little glass bead could very easily be the centre of the berry on there. So I'm liking that at the moment. So I think I might have a little trim of that. So that's going to be like that. I think that this green is quite like the greens. I might have to make a new swatch. It's a lot smaller, but it's a guide. It doesn't have to be this big. The way to shape it is with some stitching over the top. So they do have these sort of veins on them, so that's going to work. That I also got these out, and I thought maybe these can go around the berry. The other thing, I've got, this is a bit, not the black, but the kind of pale grey for around this, like that. Or I've got a really See, that's the other thing with these, they're very transparent. But if I use this one, I can Inktense it and make it a bit more the straw colour. We also need a little bit of a branch. Looks like I'm definitely doing a little bit of painting, material painting. Making a kind of a diamondy sort of shape that can go like that and sort of be a bit crunkled and gathered around. That, that, and that, and my bit of branch. Bit more branch. And that's a leaf. So, what if the leaf is cut out of this? See what the shape's like. So I've got my branch. Not sure, I'll have to actually, I didn't draw the leaf, so I might need to go and get an idea of the shape of it, or I'll make it up. Why not? Just looks like another one of the pods. So this will go here. Don't think I'll need it all the way down to there because it's sort of the top half. Let's just tear that up a bit. So we can have something completely different below it. Maybe this one can go here. I don't know if that's going to be a leaf or a berry, but I think it's looking like it's a bit of a berry, although why it will be above the branch, I don't know, but that's okay. So these are okay because they're the green colour of the pods before they're ripe and ready. And this one needs a bit of a crinkle. And then a little bit of a cocoon. Can do that with the stitching. And then the berry's going to be in the middle. Okay, that's that prompt. Gotten started. So what I need first is some Inktense, something harder to lean on, and I am going to do these in the brown for the twiggy branches, and this one in a, well, it's sort of like a paper thin, you know, it's like paper, the colour, but it's much more yellow than that. Here's my little water brush. There's a brown, there's a brown, there's a yellow, there's a white. So I'm going to be mixing here. Right, here's the white and the yellow. Now I think possibly a little bit of that. It's still not light enough. I'm trying to get a straw colour. It's a bit green, isn't it? Just giving that. These bottles are fabulous for a little spray because they kind of put out a very fine mist, which is wonderful. Still a little bit greeny for my liking, but it makes sense because that's the colour of the pods. And I can't remember if, I think Inktense dry, I think they dry darker than lighter. So we'll have a look how it looks once it's dry. Now, we want some browns for the branches. Mottly, let's make it a mottly branch. Just dabaroon in. It's not, there's no exact science here, folks. Okay, let's put that aside to dry. And I'm going to get these out the way for now. Start stitching this down and getting the letters down, which will be a little bit time consuming. Now, what colour? That's the thing, I hadn't thought up what colour to do the text. This is the pot I've got on hand. Might be interesting to do a colour like that that sort of blends in with the yellows and the greens, and it'll stand out. That was quick and easy. And I think I'll do 2 strands. It's the fun project. I've got a whole day today to myself and tomorrow and Saturday morning. Actually very, very lucky that both Nora and Lily have ended up being away at the same time. So I'm getting on to things. I do have a lot of cleaning. A lot of cleaning and sorting because the garage has got so messy. So that's on my agenda. Now, what stitch am I going to do? I do like a stem stitch. Been doing a bit of that lately. Bit of fun. However, this is going to be filled in. Okay, I'm now thinking I might use a thicker wool thread, but just do these in this colour. So a thicker wool thread for the downward strokes that are thicker lines in the typeface, and this thinner for the horizontal strokes, which are thinner. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do that. So it's just going to look a bit funny for a minute while I do all the thinner lines. Now what I'm going to do is actually find a wool that matches to just double check this is going to work. It's pretty close. It's not exact though, is it? It's just that little bit darker. Too green. Well, either, but I'll give that one a go. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll give it a go. Obviously, if I don't like it, I can pull it all out. Alright, let's have a go and see if we like it. And then I better just go in and just make sure Lily's okay. She's borrowing the car today for work and her surfing lesson. Can you believe it? She's having surfing lessons. I think she's liking it just a little bit too much. Oh, this is gonna, I know I brought my pliers over. Yeah, I already knew that I might need these. These ones are actually jewellery pliers, but they're nice and small. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I think this might be a little bit too hard to work. Possibly. And I don't like the eye of this being that big. It's hard to get through. All right, I'm not 100% convinced. I'm going to go and have a chat to Lily and I'll come back. Okay, I am back and I've stitched the piece on. I've done the word. I'm still yet to iron to get the friction pen off. And I've put on the log or the branch and I've just started to put this down with the little Inca berry on the inside. And they kind of sort of fall apart and wrap around. Just getting a bit of a twist and a turn. So it looks like a little pea in a pod. bead. It's like a little heart. That side or that side? That side. So it's just got these metal clasps up the top and the bottom. Not too hard to get on. Just gonna get around a couple of times. Make sure it's secure. Actually, I'll just come to the top so I can secure it down. Otherwise I'm going to have it flopping around a bit. And then I can work on the other side of that little cocoon. Oops. Okay, start to wrap this a bit. Just had an idea. Because they are little round berries, so if I tuck this in, is that going to work? Tuck this underneath. It's a bit big. It's like putting a little bit of wadding underneath just to enhance its roundness a little bit. Just try and scrunch this up a bit. Like that. I think I'll leave this a bit loose so it's like it's in the wind a little bit. Today's one of those days that I'm really grateful that when I was looking for my place, I really wanted to make sure it was cool in summer and warm in winter. And it's 31 degrees today outside, and my house stays really cool, probably until, you know, some of the hotter summer months, which is wonderful. And it's really quite pleasant inside without even putting on air conditioning or anything. And tomorrow and the next day are going to be 34-degree days, so very warm. 3 days in their 30s in a row, and it's not quite yet summer. Well, it's quite nice. Now just remember, they're kind of rounded with these markings. So that's what I've got to try and emulate. Now this one it doesn't make sense unless the wind is blowing it up a bit. If this is where it's joining, the lines are going to have to go this way. So I'm just going to pretend it's winter and it's blowing around in the breeze. And I was having a little think about what I might put down under here. And I do have to still do the word winter. I feel like I just finished doing all the words for autumn. Maybe, I need to write winter berries. Okay, so there'll be a line a bit like this. Coming to a bit of a point. It's fun when your ideas sort of come together. When you get a little bit behind with these projects, I feel like then I'm having to try to rush to catch up or something, but it's nice when they come together. Get one of these over here. And also I thought that, now I don't know what plant this is, but I've been thinking about maybe making some little berries on it, even though that technically may not be a winter berry. Do I want this? I think these are all same walls, similar walls. Here's a little Appletons, the smaller Appletons. That might be easier to work. I did find getting this through here ended up being quite difficult. Just a single strand of the thin Appletons. Really quite like working with this. It's got a nice soft and easy feel to it, and it goes through pretty easily. I think that this one would have gone through a bit easier if I'd have not had such a big eye, but never mind. So I know that this isn't technically correct. However, This is an interpretation of what an Inca berry bush and plant looks like. So we're allowed to, that's what we're doing. That's how it works. Creative license. This is reminding me, even though it's not a holly leaf, it's reminding me a little bit of holly with the berries, and that reminds me of Christmas, so that reminds me also of winter. Yeah, I like that. Just doing anything from 4 or 5 wraps. You're only just learning stitches. When you do your wrap and put it back through, is to hold this part tight so it doesn't get caught up with the rest of this as it's coming through, and then it does that nice little smooth transition to being a French knot. Just like this. Just hold it there and hope that your other end doesn't get caught. Sometimes the tail of this end gets caught. And you don't want to pull it too tight. So how's that looking? All right, well, I am going to get back to watching Chaos with Jeff Goldblum. I love him. He's so funny. He's just so funny. Such a funny actor. And do some stitching in front of the TV, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.